This is why you need the Hilton Surpass card and why I'm applying for it right now. If you're someone who travels maybe 4 to 8 times per year due to work or simply because you love taking vacations, the card will be worth it. Briefly summarizing what the card offers, the Hilton Surpass is a $150 annual fee co-branded credit card. For its earnings multipliers, the card offers 12x back on Hilton hotels and resorts, 6x on dining, 6x on groceries, specifically at US supermarkets, 6x on gas, and then 3x on everything else. In terms of benefits, it automatically gives you Hilton Honors Gold status, which is the second highest status you can get with Hilton. Well, technically there is one higher than Diamond status called Lifetime Diamond status, but that doesn't really count. A $200 Hilton credit that is paid at $50 statement credits per yearly quarter, which sounds like a lot of work to maintain considering it is a quarterly reminder to stay at Hilton properties, but I know of some hacks and tricks to make sure to use this credit fully to its potential. And the potential to earn a free night reward voucher if you spend $15,000 within a calendar year, or upgrading to Diamond status if you spend $40,000 in a calendar year. Two things I'm not sure I can realistically achieve, but if that's you, I'd really consider applying for the Aspire card instead. Anyways, the Hilton Surpass does also come with National Emerald Club Executive status, but I'm usually not someone who rents a car when I travel, so this benefit is kind of useless to me, but it might benefit someone out there. Oh, and the card has no foreign transaction fees. Moving on, the main reason why I personally want the Surpass card is 2 words: work trips. I've been working at this place for the last 9 months, but I have recently started going on work trips. The job takes me anywhere between all of the major city airports on the mainland in the United States, all the way over to Honolulu in Hawaii. And with work trips, there are really 3 key components that you have to be worried about. And that's the flights that get to your destination, hotels you'll be staying at when you get to your destination, and the food you'll be buying when you're there. All of which is covered by my company. And while traveling on these work trips, I've noticed that my go-to companies for flights and hotels are United and Hilton Hotels. And because typically the largest expense on these work trips are for the hotel bookings, it's kind of a no-brainer to consider getting a Hilton co-branded credit card. Additionally, just looking at all of the benefits and the perks that the card comes with, it's honestly a great card to have regardless. For instance, the 6x back on dining, groceries, and gas are extremely competitive even at the marked down 0.5 cent per point value that Hilton points are valued at, making these categories essentially 3x back categories, which is still pretty competitive within the entire credit card world. In addition to that, if you had the same suspicions about the $200 hotel credit that I did when I first looked at this card, Anthony Venture, a good friend of mine and also a credit card YouTuber, pointed out hacks that you could use to make sure you get the entire $200 value out of this credit. But before I reveal these hacks, the reason why hacks and tips are necessary is because the $200 hotel credit is unfortunately paid out as $50 stipends every single quarter. Yeah, American Express and their annoying coupon book strategy, but luckily Anthony has all of the answers. In his video, which I linked up top, he talks about how he paid for one of his hotel stays partially with Hilton gift cards. That's right, that means that you don't necessarily have to stay at Hilton hotels in order to get the $50 stipend every single quarter, but it does mean you do need to do some extra work in order to make sure you capitalize on the entirety of the $200 credit. And while watching this video, I did notice that Glam Life Addict also mentioned that the $50 quarterly credit does also apply to Hilton timeshare packages, so another fun way to make sure you get a lot of value back. And finally, the last valuable perk that the Surpass card offers is the automatic gold status, which is the second highest tier for Hilton. And it's actually a lot better than on paper. But before we talk about that, we're going to be going into the application process. Because this was my very first American Express application, I wanted to make sure I looked presentable to American Express so that my first application goes without a hitch. A couple of months prior, I made sure to open a savings account with them to make sure I let them know that I'd be having a working relationship with them. And for the next couple of months, I added more money into that account. And while this isn't a known strategy to make sure American Express accepts your application, it is something to do rather than doing nothing. I know that for some banks like US Bank, it's recommended to create a relationship with them prior to applying for one of their cards, so I decided to use that strategy here. Your miles unfortunately may vary though. And as for my credit score, at the time my Experian was showing a 784, while my credit wise through Capital One showed a 761. For my 524 status with Experian, it showed a 424 status with 3 personal card applications and 1 business card application. So for this application, I actually applied prior to the current welcome bonus offer of 130,000 points plus a free night reward voucher after spending $3,000. This is unfortunately a reminder to always wait for a better offer because trust me, they come way faster than you expect. Or in my case, literally a week after I applied for the card. Like any normal credit card application process, the one for Hilton Surpass was pretty much the same. They ask for your full name, date of birth, email address, phone number, your home address, your social security number, and your total annual income. In addition to that, they do ask what type of employment you are, meaning self-employed or any other form, as well as an optional spot for your Hilton Honors number. In my case, I did already have one, so I put my number in there. After clicking continue to terms, you're met with the terms and conditions. Always make sure to double check that the offer that you want is visible on the right side of the page, and in my case it is. And with that all being said, let's hit that submit button. Alright, they're processing my request. Oh, and I've been told that if you do get to this page, you've basically secured the card. It's asking whether or not I want any additional users, to which I click no. And I've been approved. Good news, Eric, you're approved. Accept your card below. I don't actually see how much I've been given as my credit limit, which is weird. Alright, so this was the weird part about the application process. I did get the immediate congratulations for being approved for the card, but I actually had to create another account to see exactly how much of a credit limit I was given, and ironically, I was given the same amount as the amount of money I put into my American Express savings account. Additionally, my TransUnion account was notified first that American Express had pulled a report from them, and then my Experian was alerted a couple of days later. In terms of hurting my credit score, the initial 784 Experian credit score went down to a 764, so a pretty massive 20-point drop, and my credit-wise score remained relatively unchanged. American Express does also have the apply with confidence feature, which means that additional applications will be in the form of soft pulls only, which won't affect my future credit scores that much. Alright, so to wrap up this video, the reason why I hastily applied for this card is because I had an upcoming work trip to Honolulu, Hawaii. I wanted to capitalize on all of the benefits that the Hilton Surpass card provided, and now I can actually give some real-life examples of those benefits in use. The first benefit is the gold status, which came in clutch. When we arrived to check in, we were immediately told that we had been upgraded to a higher floor as well as an upgraded room, which was technically still the same layout as the one that I had initially paid for, but was now on a higher floor and facing the ocean. In addition to that, we were informed that we'd be receiving a $30 food and beverage credit per day of our stay because my girlfriend also came along. And since we were staying for 5 total days, meant $153, which we could not only spend at the restaurant downstairs, but also at an amazing gift shop that was just so happened to be connected to the Hilton Garden Inn in Waikiki, the hotel we were staying at, which coincidentally is also how much the annual fee cost for the Hilton Surpass, so we basically prepaid for $150 worth of gifts to bring home. And on top of that, after this day, I was accredited for the $50 from the $200 quarterly stipend. Additionally, since one of the perks of having Gold Elite status with Hilton is an 80% points boost on stays, my stay, completely paid for by my company, was accredited for 23,834 points. Hilton did have a 2024 double points promotion that was going on at that time, so when subtracting that amount, I actually earned 15,322 free points, which comes out to roughly 15x Hilton points earned on Hilton properties. And just to add all of these numbers up to see how well the Surpass card has done for me in less than a month of owning the card, the Surpass card upgraded my room and paid me $200 in credits that I fully used. And this is obviously not the only Hilton hotel stays I'll be staying at this year, with additional work trips in July that I just went on, September and November. So I'll definitely be getting a ton of more value in the future. If that's not convincing enough, I don't know what is. Especially if you're someone who travels for work and stays at Hilton properties. And with that all being said, make sure to check out some of the other videos that I have on this channel. For those that are new to the channel, hi, my name is Eric. I generally talk about everything credit card related. The goal for this channel is to provide informational and meaningful financial related content that everyone everywhere can enjoy. So again, if you'd like to support that dream, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And with that all being said, thank you for watching as always. Stay safe out there, everybody. Peace.